Welcome back to the Pink Podcast. I'm your host, Wendy, and for today's episode, I wanted to have a little talk about kind of the changes from feeling like your frontal lobe cortex is fully developed. Now, let's dive into this, right? On TikTok sometimes you see like a meme and somebody will be like, "Oh, now that my frontal lobe is fully developed, I feel so different," or they'll kind of just reference like their brain development and like changing their whole perspective. And I have been seeing so much of that in myself lately. So let's talk about what the frontal lobe cortex fully developing means, right? Because I know it's a little technical and it's like who knows what that means. So let's define that, right? So, when the frontal cortex is fully developed, which typically happens around age 25, you're considered capable of discerning the relationship between your actions and potential short or long term consequences. So, basically, just means like before your frontal lobe cortex is fully developed, you kind of make decisions based a little bit more of like desire or impulse or other feelings instead of fully rationing them or making them with super wise like intel, you know what I'm saying? And also, let's just define the frontal lobe. Frontal lobe is the frontmost part of your brain. It's responsible for control over many abilities, including the way you think, how you move, and how you remember things. And it's also a key part in your social skills and helping you understand and control how you talk, behave, and interact with others. So yeah, it's basically just saying like how good are you at like making wise decisions, right? So, you know how like when you're a teen and you're just like making decisions based on impulse or desire or hormones or all the other stuff. So, basically, when this shift happens, it's usually around age 25, and they say that obviously us women develop faster than men because duh, that men develop a little bit slower than us, like with everything. And yeah, so the average age is 25, but obviously this changes from person to person and within different sexes as well. Now, my experience with this is I have totally seen a change in the way that I think, the things that I like, how I want to act and dress and be perceived, and what I want to do with my life and my goals. I feel like everything has been changing lately. And for reference, I am 24 and how would you say it? 24 and three quarters. Like I'm 4 months away from being 25. And I've been feeling the changes. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'm fully done developing there because I'm feeling the changes happening. Like, when you're PMSing and you're not getting your period yet, but you're like, it's in the air, it's coming. That's how I feel. I feel like, okay, I'm starting to see all the changes kind of happening in my brain in all these different departments. And at first, I didn't think, oh, this is happening because of my frontal lobe cortex developing. Like, who's even thinking that far? Who's even like connecting these dots, right? But then I started seeing all these memes on TikTok of girls saying, "Oh, like I changed out my whole wardrobe once I hit 25," or "Oh my God, I broke up with my boyfriend." Like whatever. All these like life changes when they turn 25. And I was like, "Wait a minute. I feel like I am completely rebranding myself in my brain as a human for the last maybe like let's see. I turned 24 and then I would say for the last like 5 months, I have been feeling a really big shift, right? Now let's go into this, right? Some of the first changes that I started noticing were in my personal style. Now, if you know me before this podcast, or maybe if you even had a scroll down my Instagram, you know that I have a clothing brand, Wasted Apparel, and that the main product of Wasted Apparel is called like micro bikinis. So they're really tiny thong bikinis and they're super sexy, best bikinis ever. But that's not the point. The point is that they're very minimal, okay? They show a lot. They don't leave much to the imagination. They're kind of like a show and tell all in once, dinner and a show. And I used to dress obviously a little bit more youthful, maybe like a year ago. Like I used to love wearing my micros everywhere. Like, first of all, ever since I started my micro company, Well, that's not all I sew. Ever since I started Wasted Apparel in 2019, I have never, ever worn a different bathing suit. So that means every single time that I've had to go somewhere, I'm wearing this micro, which teeny tiny bikini, okay? The only time that I'll wear like a wider bottom, which is also like a version of my own bikinis. I've never sold them, but I have a wider version for myself and I've made them as like customs. That's besides the point. It's like during family events because you don't want to be around your dad and uncles and like I don't know, that's weird. But everywhere else, every vacation, anything you can think of, I'm in that bikini, okay? And it's not just the bikini. I loved, okay, wearing very promiscuous, provocative, sexy hot girl mesh dress and see through this and mini skirt that tiny little dress. That was like my whole closet, okay? Everything was sexy, everything was hot girl, everything was a vibe, okay? And I started noticing this like deep urge to wear different things, okay? I didn't want to go out in that anymore. You know what's funny? I actually had a time period in my life where I wasn't like allowed. I don't want to say allowed, but you girls, the girls that know what I mean by allowed by a man, it was a problem. You know, if I would try to wear all these like promiscuous things or whatever, it wasn't, easy peasy, easy going situation. And then when I finally was, in my era where I could wear whatever I want, go wherever I want, I am now in a relationship and I'm still obviously like able and like allowed to do all these things. I hate the word allowed, but you girls know what I'm saying. Sometimes you're in a relationship and it's kind of like a problem. Certain things like that you do, maybe like your partner doesn't like who you hang out with, whatever. Everybody has like their own little things. And in this current relationship, I wear what I want, go wherever I want, do whatever I want, right? Obviously with respect to my partner. But the point is, it's funny now because now that I am like so free of choice to do and wear whatever I want, I have been wanting to show less and less. And at first I thought, oh, maybe it's because when like you want to do something that you can't do, like your parents are like, you can't go to the party, and now you want to go extra hard to that party just because they said no. So I was thinking to myself, oh, maybe it's because I thought I really wanted to dress like that or go places like that because I wasn't necessarily like able to as freely as I would have wanted to. And now that I am, maybe I just realized that that's not really my taste. But then I started thinking when I was first in this relationship, for like the first half of this relationship, I still wanted to dress and go to these places. So it's not really the that I couldn't have it and now I can have it. So now I don't really care for it analogy that I thought maybe was a possibility. I think it's due to the fact that like my frontal lobe cortex is developing and that now I have like more of like these womanly urges to dress a little bit more um what would you call it? A little bit more conservative. Ugh, I hate that word. Because it's like, I still feel like a hot girl at heart. And dressing conservatively, it just sounds like 5 years in the future. It doesn't align with my mental picture of myself. But when I have to go out somewhere, I don't want to dress provocatively anymore. So it does align with me now. I feel like I'm just having a hard time accepting the new version of me. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But that's one of the main changes I've noticed, right? Or not one of the main, but one of the first changes I noticed was I wanted to start dressing a little bit more conservative, I wanted to keep it a secret. I wanted to wear high neck crew neck shirts and yoga pants. I wear yoga pants every day now. I didn't even have a pair of yoga pants until 24 and a half. And now I have so many yoga pants. And that's all I wear. Okay. So now I'm wearing yoga pants. I actually had a let's talk about another example of this clothing thing, right? Because I know obviously like the going out and the micro bikini, that's its own thing. It's like, okay. But I go to the gym and I had bought all these sets when I started going to the gym exactly a year ago. So February, I mean, now it's been like a year and 2 months, but like February last year, I started going to the gym and I had bought myself all these cute gym outfits and, like the gym sports bras, the basics, like sports bra, matching shorts, perfect. And then I stopped wanting to wear the sports bras. I wanted to wear like them zip up jackets, like, like the Lululemon, um what are they called? I don't know, but the Lululemon like zip up jackets. Except I didn't want to pay $120 for it, but I wanted to wear like zip up jackets to the gym or just feel like I'm a little bit more covered up. And I was like, what is this weird, strange urge to be hiding so much? Like I couldn't grasp it. It wasn't any like exterior um like voices or pressure to start dressing different or acting different. I just had this deep urge and desire to dress like a mom. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Okay. And I didn't want to go to the gym for like a good month because I didn't have any zip up jackets and I wanted to find the right one and I didn't want to buy a cheap one and then regret it, but I didn't want to spend like $100 on the Lululemon ones because I need like six of them and $600 off the rip in jackets is crazy. Okay. We'll get there eventually. Maybe like in a year when all these podcast ads start rolling in. Let's have a silent prayer. But just not right now. $600 on six jackets right now would be a little bit crazy. So the point is, I couldn't find ones that I thought were going to be quality and perfect yet affordable for like a good month, month and a half, maybe 2 months. I think it was closer to 2 months. And I was hating going to the gym. I didn't want to go to the gym in these sports bras. And I didn't have any cute like cover ups. I've only been going to the gym for like a year at that point. And I was like, I don't have any cute like zip ups or anything and whatever. So that was number one struggle, right? Boom. Clothes, outfits. Don't want to go out in little mini dresses anymore. I want to be a little bit more of like a sundress, bodycon, long, long vibe, all these things started changing. Then it was the desire to change my nails. Now, okay, I get it. You're like, Wendy, that sounds stupid. Who cares? Like people change their nails all the time. I've done the same type of nails since I started doing nails, okay? I started doing my nails 2016 when I got my first job and I was like, I am rich now. Boom. I work at Panera. I'm balling. I'm going to get my nails done every week because my parents would have never paid for my nails to get done. Like I have immigrant parents and they still believe it's a stupid use of money and you know what? It might not be the wisest, but it does make me feel great. So, whatever. And the point is, I started doing my nails at 16. And ever since then, I've gotten like square shaped, like coffin. I used to get coffin. You know what coffin was the vibe? The coffin with the Anastasia Beverly Hill eyebrow combination. All you girls have been there. I know you've been there. Okay. And the Urban Decay eyeshadow palette. Let's get into that. I miss those days. I miss it a little bit. That was the era. I started getting coffin nails from then. Then I transitioned into like regular square as we all kind of did when Coffin fell off and she passed away and nobody wanted Coffin anymore. Okay. And the point is, I've always gotten like a square-ish shaped nail. And then I started being like, oh my God, I don't even want my nails long anymore. I used to get like a good length. Okay. Like long nails, medium to long all the time with like designs, French and like the little studs, whatever. It's not called a stud, whatever. I don't know, jewelry thingies on it. I can't think of the name right now. But I had these extra, you know, girly, very much out there type of nails. And I started feeling this isn't me anymore. I need a different vibe. And I tried almond for the first time. I was having a panic attack and I loved it. When I tried it, when I manned up and got my shit together and I tried almond for the first time last year, February. So many things happened in February, okay? Gym, almond nails, whatever. I tried almond nails and I never went back. I was obsessed. I got square ones for like my pool party thing on my birthday. And then another party. Yeah, I got no. Yeah, I got it from a pool party. That's the only time I got square since I started doing the almond. And then I I didn't want to go back. I was like, almond is like my new shape. It's a little bit more soft and girly and like shorter. And I wanted them more minimal. I was just getting colors at that point. I wasn't even doing um the designs anymore. I really was just focusing more on like a good nude almond shaped nail, which is so crazy for me. And even yesterday, I got my nails done, right? And I wanted to try a Russian manicure, and I kind of got like more like a short, like French. It's not necessarily like a short manicure, like a short French manicure. Wait, oh my God. It's not necessarily like a Russian manicure, but I wanted to try a regular manicure so bad because I had never had a manicure. I have only ever had like, almond nails or like square nails. And I was so scared because I was like, okay, you're too young to be having manicures. Like, once you become a mom, manicures are almost like a need because it's like, okay, you have a baby, you don't want to poke its eye out with like square nails or like, how are you gonna go into your baby's face with these long nails? So I was like, okay, I know my brain, Wendy, when you become a mom, at least for like, the first year when the baby's like a baby, you're gonna need to just have manicures, short nails. So why rush into it? Now you're gonna have forever to have manicures. And like you never really see like a 40-year-old lady with like long nails. I mean, you do, but it's not like the average. It's more like the long nail crazy design thing is a little bit more of like a younger vibe. And I really wanted a manicure. And I know you're like, Wendy, it's not that deep. It's just a fucking manicure, get a manicure. But listen to me. I don't want to like fast track my aging, okay? I feel like as a woman, we all have a little fear of aging fast. And, it's just a little taboo in culture. And we're like, oh, I want to stay young forever and I want to be hot and youthful. And I don't want to speed up, you know, my vibes of getting older. And so I was a little scared. I was a little hesitant. I got them done yesterday, and I think the nail is cute. I feel like if I had a little bit slimmer fingers, I would do the shape again, but I don't think they complement my nail. I think I look better with almond shaped nails. I've realized I think it complements like my knuckles more. But the point is, that's another area. It was like the nails, the outfit, and just like my overall appearance. Like I started doing my makeup differently. I wanna, like, I don't know, maybe I'll do a zoom in on my face right now, but this is like almost like my everyday makeup. And I know you're like, Wendy, that still looks like makeup. But listen, it's just concealer, a little bit of blush, and eyebrows, and a little dash of cream contour before. And now I can go to like Disney World like this, okay? Now I could go on a date like this, date night. I'll go out like this. I go to the gym like this. I do a podcast like this. I'll go to date night like this. When I was like 2 years ago, I would have needed to do a full beat before going out, for a date night. Not to the gym and stuff, but definitely like to go out like date night, anything like that. I was like a full beat type of girl. And maybe not like full beat as in like a smoky eye, but definitely like foundation, powder, all that stuff. Like I don't really have any powder on my face. It's kind of like this is like a 8-minute makeup routine. And before, you would have had to kill me before I just stepped out the house like this. Like, no, no, no. And I think this is all tying into the concept of my frontal lobe being a little bit more developed. I think that I am like maturing in my taste in the sense of like I want to feel a little bit more womanly. As much as I'm like I have like a tug of war in my brain. Like I want to feel more womanly and dress and act like it, and then at the same time I want to hold on to my youth. And then another part of me is like, why can't like what you could do both? Like what's what's the problem with being womanly and youthful? Like, but I don't know. In my brain, it feels like two different worlds. It feels like you're stepping into womanhood is different than, being like a little youthful pumpkin. And so I feel like I'm having a hard time letting go of the idea of like being in my youthfulness and just being extra. I don't like the word promiscuous. Maybe like, um, just out there. Like now I just want to keep to myself. I've always been like a homebody, but now I'm definitely like a homebody and soul. Like I want to be home all the time. Now, that's like more of like the exterior, physical things about myself that I kind of wanted to change recently with, I guess, my frontal lobe starting its new journey. But then there's like the second part, right? Which is kind of like the change in my priorities. And now I feel like I've been looking at money different. I've been looking at my relationships different. I have been looking at motherhood different. I have been stepping into what I feel like is definitely like motherhood territory, and that's scary to say. I've always said I wanted to have kids around like 26, 27, and my partner, who's, the other half of the contributing party, he's ready for babies yesterday, right? And so he is definitely like a big influence in that part of my brain kind of speeding up. But I do also think that I'm getting a lot of those forces from the frontal lobe, And here's what I mean. Before maybe 4 months ago, I looked at money kind of like, everybody has like the hopes and desires, like, okay, I'm going to save my money and I'm going to do this. And we all know we kind of spend it sometimes. We've all been there. We're all like making a plan, we're making a savings account, we're drawing our numbers out, and somehow, some way, the money just evaporates. That's been my case a lot with growing up. But now, recently, I have been saving about every penny I can, right? I have been just taking my finances so serious. I think it's because I have this deep urge now to move into a home. Right now, I live in an apartment, a beautiful apartment. I love my apartment. But, and also, I wanted to live in an apartment so bad when I was like in my parents' house. I was like, I can't wait to be grown enough to like rent my own apartment and like, just be like a young girl. Like, I have my own place and just come home. And, like when you just first move out, you don't want to move out to a home. At least I didn't want to like deal with like mowing the lawn and I don't know. Like house is like a responsibility. Even if you're renting, I feel like it's a little bit more serious than like having a fun little apartment, like, just in your youth. And so I've always wanted to have an apartment. But for the last uh, same timeline, like 6 months, I have been dying to get out of here. I've been dying to live in a home. I have a very specific home too in my brain. Like I know where I want to live. I know exactly literally the location and which type of house that I'm waiting to move into there. Like I'm talking about, I know all the specifics. And I have been wanting to move out so bad. And I've been saving all this money because I don't just want to move out, I want to move out and buy like my dream furniture and, be turn, hashtag turn when I move out. I don't want to move out and be balling on a budget. Like if I'm moving into a house, I want to make sure I'm like financially stable. And so I've been taking my finances so serious. And I'm so like shook, because even though I've always considered myself like good with money in the sense of like I have brought in money into my life consistently, abundantly, I've never been the best at like saving it. And obviously, I'm still on the younger side, and I know some of us kind of struggle with saving, and there's so much outside influence to like buy new clothes and go on a trip and just kind of have fun with your money. And this is the perfect time to do it because obviously, the more grown up you get, the more serious life becomes, and then it's like, well, now you definitely have to buckle down and get serious. But I've been enjoying my youth. I have been buying clothes, buying outfits, and now I'm serious. Okay, now I have been saving all my money because I'm adulting extra hard now. Another thing is, I should I say this? This is a little crazy. I've been preparing for motherhood. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but what I mean by that is I'm a timeline girl. I love making a plan, making a schedule. I have created a timeline for when I want to get pregnant. And, obviously some things have to align in the process for all of that to come to fruition. But that is why I'm working hard towards it because I feel like the timeline that I have is great and it's just so perfectly written, especially by me because obviously I freaking wrote it. And in this timeline, I am now taking the precautionary steps from now to optimize my health for when I do decide to get pregnant, that I am at my peak of healthiest woman, like function, like brain, cognitive, every, I don't know, every category of my body. I want it to be at a million, thousand, 100 million percent, you know? I just want to make sure I'm healthy. I want to make sure that I am the best version of me so that when I am conceiving, I can have a great pregnancy. And I know there's other outside factors, but I want to control what I can control. I want to make sure that I am at my best physically, mentally, financially, in my relationship, just in all my categories. I want to make sure that I'm thriving so that this baby can be a superstar. You know, I could grow in a superstar environment with the healthiest blood cells in my system, whatever. I'm losing you. I know I'm losing you. I know you're like, this girl is insane. But that's just how I am. You know, I'm a preparer, I'm a planner. I am a little bit of a control freak, and that's a different episode. But for now, all you need to know is that the womanly instincts are kicking in, and I am preparing for motherhood. I am pre nesting to my nesting. I am, arranging things. I'm making mood boards for what I want the baby's room to look like, if it's a boy or if it's a girl. I'm there. I'm losing my mind a little bit. And if you would have told me a year ago that I would have been pre-preparing for motherhood now, I would have looked at you and been like, you're crazy. And no, I'm not. But I am. Obviously, that doesn't mean I'm getting pregnant like tomorrow, but I'm saying like I am preparing my body in the next couple of months in order for when the conceiving period does arrive, that I am, the best version of Wendy ever. And I'm getting there. You should see how these abs are coming through. You should see how I'm working at my flexibility because I have negative flexibility. You should see, okay? But again, different episode. And another thing that I've noticed some changes in are kind of like my relationships with people. I have been kind of admiring my parents more. What's that about? I feel like growing up, I used to always be like mad about something that my parents were doing or be like judging them, or definitely not on their side when it came to a lot of like parenting techniques or things that they did. And now I'm like, wow, my parents are like superheroes. Like they really did this. They did some things they could have been better at for sure. But, we're all human. Now I look at my parents so differently and I see them with so much more appreciation, and I have so much more of a respect and liking for them. And I feel like before I used to just be like a little brat about it, like, and they don't let me do this and they're just up my butt about this. And now I'm like, whoa, best parent award? Like, what's that all about? I'm not sure, but I'm loving my parents lately. I'm loving the way I was growing up. I'm just, I'm losing my brain. Guys, I'm losing my mind. I'm developing part of it and then I'm losing part of it. Okay. And another thing, okay, this is the last one that we're going to really talk about. It's like politics. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not here to get canceled. Okay. It's a little too early. Episode 11, it's a bit too early for me to get canceled. But I had so many like beliefs, opinions growing up, right? And about politics and like how I felt about the government. And like now, a lot of those beliefs have transitioned or like changed or completely morphed into different ones. And I would have never believed you if you would have told me the things that I am for or against now, or like just like the opinions that I've shaped now that I'm like a little bit older, or how I view certain things. It I can't even really recognize myself. I'm like, who is this girl? Why does she believe that? Like, I don't know, but I am changing, and it's all happening at the same time. Okay, all these things have been happening to me at the same time. It's kind of like an identity crisis, like a quarter life crisis, not a midlife crisis. This is a quarter life crisis, is what I'm calling this chapter of my life. Okay. Now that you know in the areas in which I have been changing, let's talk about kind of my problems with it. Okay. Because sure, there's all these positives and all this joy about these changes. Like, I'm excited about the idea of motherhood and living in a home and kind of maturing. I'm excited to see that part of my life because I've only ever lived as like, you know, a young woman and then like a young adult, and I've never seen the other side of the fence. I've never had a kid or had a home or just kind of, motherly, womanly vibes. I've never had to care about anything but myself apart from like a boyfriend or, you know what I'm saying? And that is actually one of the main fear. Everything that's like a positive to these changes are kind of counteractive in the sense of like they're also a fear. Like I have this super deep extreme fear of aging. Like, I don't know if it's like a woman thing. I don't know if it's the age that I'm at that maybe I just fear that. And then when I'm like getting a little bit older, I'll be like, that wasn't so scary. This is fun. But I have this deep insecurity with the idea of growing up and like getting older and becoming a woman. Like, I know I'm a woman now, but you know what I mean? Like a mom. I'm so excited for motherhood and I can't wait to be a mom and I can't wait to like raise little mini me's and mini like me and my partner, like just mini us. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, I'll never just be able to wake up in the morning feeling like pizza. That's a horrible. This is not the time for that song. Kesha, take it off the internet. Okay. I'll never be able to wake up in the morning and just worry about Wendy. I'll never just be able to be like, damn, should I go to the gym today? Should I not? Should I like do my makeup? Should I I'll be thinking those same thoughts, but also where do I have to take the kids today? Where are the kids doing their hair, doing their picking their outfits, making their breakfast? What if I'm having an off day? What if I'm tired? What if I have a headache? Who's taking care of me? Who's giving me a break? Who like I can't just not get like take care of the kids just because I have a headache. And so then it's like that fear of like, okay, I'll never just be worried about me selfishly and my partner. We can't just get up and go to the movies anymore. We'd have to, you know, either have somebody babysit the kids or wait for when they're old enough to take care of themselves. And it's just like such a life shift. And I know that everybody that has kids is like, it's like the best thing ever, and that they're so happy to be parents, and that nothing can like equivalent to the feeling of being a parent. And at the same time, they also complain that they can't do anything because of their kids. And not anything. I know like so many people still have a very fulfilling life, and especially people who have the privilege of having like outside help with their children, like maybe like family members. Like it's like a community thing and everybody can watch each other's kids and you still get some of that alone time. But my point is I have that fear. I have a fear of just like it'll never be the same again. And I don't know how good that feeling of having a mini us running around, like the amount of love that I'll have for that mini them, and to know, you know what, even if I can't spend time alone with your dada, or even if I can't do my makeup in peace anymore, it's so worth it for you because I don't have the baby yet. Okay, I don't have that super immense motherly love that doesn't like equivalent to anything else to know that it's worth it. So right now all I know is that I love these other things and that they're gonna not be the same anymore, and that's scary. And I know based on everybody's like opinion and statements that it's worth it. And so that brings me some relief and peace of mind. But I'm still a little stressed, okay? I'm still a little stressed that I'll never just be able to be selfish again. And I'm a Leo. So I'm a little extra selfish than the rest of the community? So that's fear number one. Okay, fear of not being selfish, which sounds crazy, it sounds sick. I'm just being honest with you girls. And if you don't like it, then don't tell me because it's going to make me feel extra bad. I already feel a little crazy about it, okay? That's thing number two. Thing number one was the fear of aging, which it's kind of going hand in hand. Like just the fear of aging and the fear of motherhood and the no turning back, the not having youth on my side anymore, the not being like in my prime. Like, how does that work, I feel like not everybody ages like Sofia Vergara, and I want to age like Sofia Vergara in my head. And so that's just like what I'm hoping and praying for because she's, I think, 50. And I mean, wow. I mean, if I can look like that at 50, I'm set. My mom's actually Gorgina. and she's 40 something. I think she's 44. 44, yeah, and she looks amazing. So I have genetics on my side, but I'm still worried, okay? I'm still worried and I'm still praying. Now, another thing that worries me is that I don't have other friends that I feel like are going through this life crisis at the same time as me. I have either friends that are a little bit older and I feel like they've already been through it, or friends that are younger and they're in their prime hot girl vibe era and they don't get, that I'm losing my mind. And then I do have my best friend is my age, and who else is my age? I don't know, but I know Ashley's obviously my age. But I feel like she's still going through like other things in her life. Like I think she might be having a version of it, but I don't think it's like as extreme as mine. So I wish I had somebody that I can go through it with, like the fear of that change together. I wish I could just like rely on other people to kind of like, like sometimes how they have those like mom groups and they all get together and they kind of like, oh, we love being a mom, and also like postpartum is so hard, and they like kind of have like a little group therapy. I wish there was like a group therapy for frontal lobe development, because it's a big deal and it's making me hashtag stressed. And I wish I just had like a friend to call and be like, yo, isn't it so weird that now you don't want to dress like this? Ashley is going through it. I'm not saying that she's not, but I feel like just not as intense as me. Maybe like in the next 6 months she'll get even worse, and then we'll be like a little right there neck and neck and we'll just be like crying to each other. But right now I feel like a little alone. I feel a little alone and I just want other women that are stressing to tell me that it's okay and that we're all stressing together. Okay? And then lastly, there's like this underlying social pressure of living up to like standards. And I know at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what other people think. People always say that. But we are social beings. We are like humans and we do care about what our, fellow humans think. It's part of like keeping yourself alive and keeping yourself like in a good social hierarchy for your survival. And that's still deeply rooted within us as humans. And that is why we care. So as much as we want to say, I don't care, we care. Okay. And there's like this social pressure of like still being a hot girl and like enjoying life, because at the end of the day, once you do take that step of like motherhood and a home and being, having a family, now you're different. Now you care about other humans more than yourself. And so even if you wanted to be selfish, like I know moms that always say like they'll go out and have a good time, and then like in the back of their brain it's just like this mom guilt of like, damn, my kids are at home, and like they just can't shake off the mom guilt. And I feel like that would be me. I feel like I would feel so guilty. Mm, not me already tearing up. I'm kidding. But I feel like I would feel so selfish just like leaving my babies to go be a hot girl. Like I'm going to want to be with them. I'm going to want to sniff them. I'm going to want to watch them when they sleep. Like, hello, are you breathing? I'm going to want to do that. And so the idea of leaving them already sounds stressful and I don't even have them. So you know, that idea of like taking that step is scary because there's no going back for real. You may play pretend. You may play, like right now, if you like don't have kids and you like maybe you babysit your nephews or whatever, and you're like playing pretend mom, and you're like, ha ha ha, this is fun. Okay, here, take it back. Being a mom and going out without your babies, it's like playing pretend, not motherhood, because you just can't not think about them. And same way that like if you're babysitting, they're being annoying right now, but at the end of the day, they're not mine. So not my problem. I feel like it's the same thing but backwards. And so that worries me, okay? And just yeah, I just feel like socially there's like this pressure of like holding on to my hot girlness for longer and just milking that, because then I'll have forever obviously to be a mom. Like even if I start having kids at 30, which sounds old, but that's so young. Like that means when you're 40, you'll have a 10-year-old. That's kind of turn. When you're 45, you have a 15-year-old. That makes sense to me. You know, that is like okay, but then it's like who wants to start having babies at 30? I don't know. It's just this back and forth of like socially, you could hold on to your hot girlness for a little longer. Not saying that when you're a mom, you're no longer a hot girl, but I'm saying now you're not a full time hot girl because you are a full time mom. Maybe you're like a part time hot girl and then, full time mom. Right now, I'm playing full time hot girl. Actually, I'm not. I'm playing full time confused, but you get the point. And then there's like the other social side of like, your parents are ready to be grandparents and they're letting you know all the time, I'm ready. I'm ready. And especially my mom, I know she's watching this. She's so ready. And she'll tell me all the time, I can't wait for my grandchildren. Oh my God, when are you going to give me my grandchildren? Because she's Cuban and she has an accent. So I kind of body that. If you know, you would know that I bodied that. And that's social pressure right there. Your family kind of ready for you to procreate. Then it's like my partner. He's ready. He's a fertile man, at his peak. He's so ready to procreate and multiply, his DNA. And who else is he going to do it with except the love of his life? Me. Hello. Duh. And that's another social pressure right there. It's like my other half, he's ready. And so it's just like, there's like the outside and your boyfriend, and then it's like, whoa, I am ready. I feel ready. I mean, I want to have a baby now, but then it's like, I want to also be a hot girl a little longer. And that's what I'm going through. I feel like I just obviously started going through the frontal lobe cortex development hardcore, like the big changes, like I would say like 6 months ago max. And so I feel like maybe in a couple more months, I'll be super like, man, fuck this hot girl shit. Give me that baby. Give me 4 of them right now. Give me the house. Give me this. Give me fuck. I'll probably delete all my pictures. Who knows? I might just be that like into my womanly vibe by then. But right now, I'm tittle tattling. I am playing tug of war with myself. Hot girl version of me, mommy version of me. I'll even call myself mommy all the time. I'll tell my boyfriend like, "Do you love mommy?" Hello, like I don't have a baby. I'm ready. I literally acting ready. I got the mommy nails on deck. Okay, I have the mommy yoga pants on. I'm basically there. Okay, actually, TMI. This is so funny. This is an accident. This bra that I'm wearing from Target is a maternity bra. Again, it was by mistake. I didn't know it was a maternity bra when I was buying it. But it just even goes more to prove how deep in it I am. That even random coincidences are happening to me. Okay. And that's all that I have. I hope you girls understand. Maybe like some of you can super relate to what I'm going through. Maybe some of you are like not there yet and you're like, now I've warned you. So you're welcome. You will get there. And I used to hear people talking about stuff like this. And I'm like, no, bitch, you're just old. Like, I'm not going to ever think like that or want to not be a hot girl. Like, are you slow? I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. It's coming for you. It's like a disease. It's coming for you. You're gonna want to stop being a hot girl. You're gonna want to be a yoga Pilates mom. It's gonna come for you. It's gonna change your brain. It's like a fucking worm. It goes in your ear and then it changes your brain. Letting you know. And let me know. Let me know in the comments if you are going through it, if you haven't gone through it, if you know somebody that did, if you're kind of feeling some of the symptoms of the frontal lobe disease, happening to you. Let me know if you already went through it, like how the other side is. Let me know. Just let me know because right now I feel alone. And if you don't want to comment, just DM me and let me know because I honestly just want to know. And you know what? Now that I've encouraged you guys to comment, go ahead, leave a thumbs up. I have to be a YouTuber. I have to be true to me. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anywhere where people listen to podcasts, give it a 5 stars, give it a 3 stars. I don't know what the ratings are on there. I've never rated a podcast. So it's a little hypocritical that I'm asking you to do it if you're listening instead of watching, but just rate it. Rate it for me, rate it all the way up, put with 5 if it goes up to 5 because why not, help me out. I'm already stressed enough with the frontal lobe thing. Okay, help me out. If you're listening to it on YouTube because you want to see me talk to you because why wouldn't you want to see my face? Hello. um Give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up, hashtag I love the pink podcast, thumbs up, and subscribe because who doesn't want to hear more of my deeply unreasonable fears that we're all going through every week, every Wednesday. Hot Girl Wednesdays. We were pink on Wednesdays. Pink podcast on Wednesday. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. You see, I'm rambling now. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Love you, girls. See you all next Wednesday. Bye.